want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
We are the Mad Men of Masculinity.
Your home for healthy masculinity. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
Hello, US of A.
That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I am Kirk M. Samuel.
And I am Jason B. Kendrick.
And we are the Mad Men of Masculinity.
That's right. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
For you, the number 4, and then you. What's happening? What's going on, JBK?
Well, you know, we had a little event this weekend, and you were on stage. I was off stage doing what I'm seeing. And
you weren't off. You were kind of side stage.
I was side stage.
Yeah,
right.
You were MCing and moderating.
I was back there with the big hook, so I could Sandman them off if I needed to.
Right.
You got lucky I didn't have to Sandman you off the stage because you were holding it down. But anyway, we after we do these events, and usually we find inspiration during the week from show to show, and so after the event we decided, hey, gentlemen, how about we talk about digital dating for men? And we're going to really dig into it because I know for a lot of guys, that's the only way you meet the ladies. And for a lot of the ladies, that's how you get a lot of your attention.
Right.
But I have a different opinion about digital dating. If you picked up the 7 Secrets of Modern Dating,
plug.
It is the number 1 in 7 categories on Amazon.
Booyah!
We're both contributors. And if you get to my section and when we talk about digital dating, you'll find out exactly how I feel about digital dating.
Boom.
But since we're getting into it, I know you have a lot to say on this subject, sir. Let's talk about it.
Hey, man, a couple things. Shout out KLDC 1220 AM in the Mile High City. Everywhere, in the digit space, the digiverse, everywhere, YouTube, Facebook. Shout out, man. It don't cost you nothing to hit the subscribe. Like, for real. Subscribe, that if you hit that little bell, you'll get a little alert, all this other kind of stuff. It don't cost you nothing, but it looks out for your fellas. It looks out for your boys.
Yeah, and if you miss a part of an episode, if you hear us saying something that interests you, go back to YouTube. You can watch that whole episode. You can see the whole thing. You can write comments. You can tell us what to talk about. You can tell us how much you like us or not. We'll still be here next week.
We still love you if you don't like us.
We still love you.
Hey, second shout out.
Shout out.
So I was on my way. We were around the corner from a golf course, one that we have purveyed numerous times. And dude, I want to give a shout out to the guy that was at the bus stop with his golf clubs.
What?
Yo, guy at the bus stop with his golf clubs. He obviously done playing golf.
He's serious.
Yo, I know he listens because he's got to be a healthy man. We're all about healthy masculinity, and homeboy was committed to the process, man. He was committed he wanted to get his round of golf in on a nice day, and my man took the bus with the golf clubs to the golf course.
How old was he though?
It was probably, I'm bad with ages these days, man. I would say definitely 40, mid 40s up.
Okay.
I mean, might even be in his 50s. I don't know, something like that.
Like a teenager.
Nah. He wasn't a teenager.
So basically, he lost it in a divorce, and now he's
She got the car.
She got the car, and now he's busting it.
She got the car, but she didn't get the golf clubs.
Man has priorities.
Hey, she got the car, but she didn't get the golf clubs. And he will not be denied. He's hanging on to the last bit of what he had, the life he had in the past. He's determined to do the golf thing, man, even if she got a car.
Absolutely. I mean, speaking of determined,
I
think nowadays, as we dance around the subject of digital dating for men and this
great segue, stuff, man.
I'm telling you, I'm getting better at this whole segue thing. But I have such a strong opinion about it. I want to get your opinion about it before I poo-poo all over it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about digital dating?
So here's my deal, man. I don't poo-poo on it because it's worked for me.
Okay.
I mean, so I can't give it the blanket thumbs down.
Right.
I can give it a flashing caution light, and I can say that, like most things, there's upside and there's downside. I believe that if you are single and if you're in the dating space, if you are actively pursuing that one that may be for you, I would say when we say digital dating, we're talking about online dating, roughly, generally speaking.
Basically.
I would say have that as part of your repertoire. That's a big word. I went to public school, but I did graduate. I would say have that as one of the lanes of the highway that is your dating journey. Because, and the reason, I'll start with my just at least the pro.
Pontificate.
I'll just go to the pro. Let me start with the pro, and then later on, maybe I'll come back to the negatives. because I know where you already are negative. So if I don't start with some,
you don't know what I'm gonna say.
If I don't always start with the pro, we ain't getting to the pros. The pros are you get in rep, and I think you get in rep and you meet people, you see, that there are other single people out there. It's easier to maintain some level of hope that there might be somebody for you when you see that there are other single people actively pursuing meeting other people. So I think that's a positive. And then, like I said, when you get out there, when you actually get to, ideally, you get to the point where you meet people in person. Some people are just, professional online daters, where they don't actually meet people. But I think when you get to the point where you actually meet people in person, then you get the opportunity to converse. Honestly, you end up having the same conversations over and over again, because those first, that first 30 minutes, 60 minutes of meeting somebody is normally the same things that you get to. So if nothing else, you get to perfect your elevator speech for who you are and what you are. And ideally, that's just part of you getting comfortable just meeting people. So I think those are some pros, in terms of the experience. And like I said, it has worked in my case. And so I can't knock it, man. I can't poo-poo it.
Well, I can't really see anything wrong with those pros either, because in getting the opportunity to do reps digitally so that you're not face to face is not as personal. If you get shot down, it's not as painful. I get that. And, my whole thing with it is that I think it may be a good place to start. Get off of it as quickly as possible. To your point, get in person as quickly as possible, because I've seen, and I think you were, Kara mentioned it during the event on this weekend about one lady had said she just broke up with her boyfriend from like a year and a half or something like that, but they never actually met in person. It was all digital, and that just seems crazy to me.
Yeah,
just nutty.
Yeah, it can be a drive-by experience, man, and drive-by experiences. So the other thing, as I was driving by, I drove by Mr. Tang's Korean restaurant, and the only reason I bring that up because I just want to say Mr. Tang on the radio. Mr. Tang, right around the corner.
Mr. Tang, get a
shout out if you're in Aurora, Colorado. Go check out Mr. Tang. Tell him Mad Men sent you. Driving by, man, I just drove by and I saw the sign for Mr. Tang Korean restaurant.
So you having flashbacks to our childhood with Tang on the shuttle, dude, Tang up in space.
There's a whole lot of roads. You talk about lanes of the highway. I can go a whole lot of lanes of the highway on Tang, but it's a drive-by experience, and so when you're doing the whole thing, it's really, really, really easy to get into the drive-by mode of I'm dating when really you're just driving by. You're just driving around. It's a total different thing to be house hunting when you're just driving around looking at people who got signs out front than when you're with a realtor and you're going into houses and you're actually touring the house and you're getting to know the house and all that kind of stuff. Two totally different things. So don't think you're, with business, same thing. If you're not actively out there pursuing, opportunities and growth and sales and marketing and all those kinds of things, you're really not in business. Going to spend money, people want to go spend money and call themselves entrepreneurs. No, you're only an entrepreneur when you're making money, right? And so but the experience can easily kind of get off track. Denzel, what's up? My man,
what happened?
My man, Denzel Gasside, what's up, brother?
So yeah, I think keeping it as an initial thing, or to even your point of this weekend, you said making it's very much entertainment. If you're in the entertainment mode, if you just want to have some fun and just see what's out there and maybe keep it casual, I think it's a great thing. If you're using it for something serious, then I think, you can meet new people that way and get offline very quickly, because you don't want to waste a whole lot of time and energy like that one lady, year and a half with some dude she never met in person. Get offline and get in person so you get the energy and the chemistry and find out, because there's a lot of times you see all these curated pictures, all these curated dating profiles, and you get offline and you go meet them and you're like, who are you? You're not the girl in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
You're not that is not a accurate representation what you look like in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So getting offline very quickly, especially for guys, because we'll get into a lot of the statistics later on as we dig deeper into this, but it's not great for most of us guys when it comes to digital dating and the expectations and how much effort you have to put in to actually get any kind of response. It's kind of like fishing without any bait. You can cast that reel all you want to, get it out in the water all you want to. You're not going to get any nibbles unless you got a starving fish, which you may or may not want.
Yeah, I remember when I was again in that space, man. It was kind of a trip because I would do the off and on. I would, I would get burned out after a while, and then I would just kind of drop it, or I would, it's like, okay, there's the fish aren't biting over here. Let me go over this site and fish over here. Let me go to this pond, and a lot of times you see the same fish
I was
in
going to say
different ponds. And then, like I said, I would stop, and then, I was like, I've had enough kind of thing. And then once I would get back on, and there were women, because I searched for women. I happen to be, woman seeking.
Why you gotta clarify?
Some people know. I'm just clarifying. And so, I would see the same ones. Like, man, you've been on this site for like years. I mean, and you got, and yeah, it just kind of blew me away. It just kind of blew me away. So from a guy perspective, you got to be careful about that kind of stuff. Maybe we'll get into some online dating red flags later on, but I think just in concept, I think in terms of pros and cons, like I said, I can't, I can definitely have a whole lot of poo-poos for it, but in the end, I got to be honest and say, it worked for me to a degree, and so I think there's some plus side.
Yeah, I mean, if getting out into, say, a dating situation, a bar situation, or going to a singles meeting and actually meet people in person gives you the cold shakes and shivers and ties you up at night, probably online dating and apps may be a good way to start, at least get your feet wet and start having some conversations. As we get deeper into this and talk more statistics, you'll find out why I'm kind of poo-poo against it. But when, like most things, when it initially started out, I think it was a great thing because you got outside your circle, you get to meet random people from all over that are single and looking as well. Though I think now it's just become a clickbait industry where you see, I think a lot of times, even some of the apps, you can delete your profile, but there's something in the terms and conditions that if you don't follow whatever 10-step process they tell you to do, your pictures and profiles will still be on there. So there's probably a lot of ladies and guys that they keep to make their numbers look good, but you're clicking on somebody to like them. They're not even on that app anymore. They're not even a real person. You got some bot message you and tell you, "Oh, honey, you look so good.
Oh, we love Mr. Tang. Come to Mr. Tang's. I work at Mr. Tang's." Hey, you know what? That happened to me actually.
For real?
Yeah, that my, I've heard, I still hear, people tell me that they've seen my pictures somewhere. I'm like, oh, what picture did you see? But yeah, I mean, as a matter of fact, I've heard that my picture has been on a couple places that I didn't put it. So I've actually heard of that.
See, that's why I bring you around. You're the face of this because nobody wants my picture, but they'll keep yours around. So you're the face. You're the face and the mouth of this. I'll do the research. You just stay in that corner.
Here's what it is. Hey, speaking of corner, man,
you'll put me in the corner again, man. See,
I'll put you in timeout. I'll give you a timeout. You are in timeout for the next 3 minutes. You are in timeout as we take a break. 12:20 a.m. KLDC in the Mile High City. Mad Men of Masculinity Radio. We'll be right back. Are you? Nice. You should.
Do you need to go outside and stand in the corner?
Yeah.
Hey.
Nice.
No, but see, this is for men, not for women. So don't feel triggered by it.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Since you can't hear, Nikki Nicole, super producer, just told us she felt very triggered by this episode today because she's actually talking to a man she met online. And we're trying to tell her this is for the guys. Digital dating episode is not for the ladies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's another point we got to get into too. Like a lot of the guys that are still on online dating who haven't just thrown it away and given up, either desperate or just so determined or just can't take a hit. I don't know which. Boom. So where do you want to go with this? Well, I figure we'll go next. We'll get into some of the statistics. You got statistics? You know how, like, remember
JBK got statistics. You got numbers, people.
Statistics. I can't even say statistics, but no, statistics, and then we'll get into the red flags, green flags, and just have a conversation.
Word. All right.
And we're back. Mad Men of Masculinity on KLDC, 12:20 a.m. in the Mile High City. And on the interwebs everywhere.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, when we actually, when we record these shows in preparation of broadcast over the year, we actually stream our recordings of these, and they stream on Facebook and YouTube Live. And so when you listen to those, you get to hear kind of our little banter in between that you don't get to hear over the air. Some things we can't really talk about over the air. And oh, by the way,
in the swear jar.
And when we put a nickel or a dollar or 10 or 20. And you can also, hey, if you're watching us right now live, you can comment on this bad boy and we can see it live at JBKO. Make you famous.
See, Denzel said, hey.
Denzel, my man. That's why I just yelled Denzel when he was on there. If y'all thought I maybe had some weird kind of syndrome where I just yell out random names.
Yeah, he's got Denzel Tourette's, and he's also been stalking him. So, he's just trying to get his Denzel time in.
JBK got some numbers, man. He got some statistics, man.
Well, when we talk about digital dating, one of the reasons that, I'm very pragmatic as a person, and I like to do things that work, or at least have a more than 50% chance of winning. And, granted, I will buy a lottery ticket, so that kind of poo-poos that. But on the other hand, things in my normal life, I will tend to go for things that might actually work. There's a higher probability that there will be some results. And when you look into a lot of the statistics, which Match.com, I think Plenty of Fish, and one of the other ones, looked into statistics of online dating for men, not just ladies, but for the men. And what they found is that from queuing and questioning the ladies, about 80% of men on online dating are invisible to the women out there. They're all tend to be looking for the top 20%. They want the 6-foot guy, 6-figure guy, 6-pack abs, what else. And so they're not really looking for the normal Joe guy. And of course, most of us guys need a lot of help when it comes to the promotion of ourselves on digital platforms. So we either overdo it or underdo it, or we don't look at anything from a style perspective. So, and you get half of a second, maybe 15 seconds at most to make an impression. And then it's swipe. And so it's initially just a picture, just a flash, just your face pops up. And that's all this person is judging you by, which leaves out 99.99999% of who you really are. And so if you have a bad picture, which most guys probably aren't thinking about, well, this angle or this outfit or this thing, so they don't do that. So for most guys, it's 80% of us are just invisible in online dating. And because of how our brains work, all of those clicks, all those things for the ladies, that's their dopamine hits. So all you guys out there, just like this. I've heard talk to a lot of guys. They're like, I just like everybody. It's like dynamite fishing. Maybe one of them will pop up. I'm just gonna hit yes on all of them.
I got a great story, man.
Oh, stories.
I got a great story. I had a profile where, man, I just basically word vomited on this profile. I mean, man, I'm telling you, you ever have a profile that is so long that they cut you off? I found out that there was a 2,000 word limit.
What?
Yeah, I found out the hard way.
He's writing
Then
some
I had to
memoirs.
go back and delete a bunch of stuff and figure out what I wanted to put in it because I had a lot more to say. Dude, I had my run time in the 10K. I had, all this flowery kind of, man, I had all kinds of stuff, man. Author, speaker, I had all kinds of stuff. Man, I'm telling you, it was like crickets out there, Jordan. Chirp. I mean, I couldn't get no play, man. I was like the Dallas Cowboys, man. I couldn't win.
Oh, see.
Season started. That's right. I said I want all the smoke. If you're a Cowboy fan, come at me. You don't want none of this. You don't want none of this. I'm telling you.
I gotta apologize, y'all. He was born and raised in DC. He's got no sense.
Anyhow, man, I couldn't. I'm telling you, man, I couldn't get nothing, man.
Yeah. Well,
you're not
even done yet.
So I couldn't get no action.
Okay.
I go back,
and then what happened?
And at some point, I think I just got kind of frustrated with the whole thing. I deleted all 2,000 words, and I got to the point where I literally had 2,000 words. Like I edited and all this other kind of stuff. I deleted all of that, and I put my 3-word moniker. I put the intimacy incubator. Mm-hmm. I had decent pictures. I had professional pictures that I had done for everything else, and a couple, one or two like funny looking pictures, laugh kind of pictures, all that kind of stuff. And so I had a decent set of pictures. But the only 3 words I had in there was the intimacy incubator.
But they got some questions.
Bruh, when I tell you that my inbox blew up, dude, it blew up like a champ, dude. I'm telling you, I couldn't stop it, man. I mean, it was just, it was like dynamite fishing, man. That was the bomb that brought all the fish to the lake, man, to the lake top, to the surface. And so I just got rid of all that kind of stuff, man. And those 3 words didn't say anything about me, didn't say anything about what I thought, what I believed, none of that kind of stuff. My, body mass, didn't say any of that kind of stuff. All they had was the intimacy incubator. Man, they was coming out of the woodworks with questions and all this other kind of stuff. And then what I found is, as soon as people type in Kirk, author, Colorado, I'm pretty easy to find on Google. So then people were just,
What, you pimping yourself already?
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. So anyhow, in terms of the whole profile and all that kind of stuff, sometimes less is more from a guy perspective.
Absolutely. Actually, that's a great point, because I think it's Rich Cooper, the author of the Unplugged Alpha. He has his own entrepreneurs and cars thing. And that's one of the things he was talking about. If you are going to be digitally dating, if you are going to be online, which for most of us, I mean, especially us guys, we don't have a lot of choice unless you just have spendable time and money. So to be, brevity, have a little brevity in your profile, be very simple and plain. Just be like, I do well. I have a house. I have friends that we're making a dent in the universe. I mean, like, keep it very simple. And then do find somebody to get a professional to take your pictures, because most of us guys are not professional photographers. So hopefully, I just saw some Wi-Fi clickage. A little support when it does come to digital dating. So maybe find some help, professional help, if you are going to be in that lane, because the numbers are against us, guys. I mean, if you're part of the normal guys, which means you're part of that 80%, which is most of us, you're pretty much invisible. So we need a little bit of help to brand ourselves better and actually think about branding.
Part of that too is I was trying to be a nice guy. I was trying to be liked. I was trying to be in the profile. I was trying to be the hero. I was trying to be the shining armor kind of thing. And I was trying too hard, and I wasn't leaving anything to the imagination. Now, mind you, I had a couple of the pictures is me holding a 4-foot sword. Another picture is me speaking on stage, and this is so a lot of things that kind of piqued interest. But in terms of that whole first profile, man, I was getting the Heisman from women because, man, it was just too much. It was too much. And so I think I was invisible. But when I cut it down, had some pictures that piqued an interest, a couple of funny pictures that made people laugh. And all I had was 3 words, man: the intimacy incubator. And I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
Well, and those aren't like what you would normally hear.
Right.
So it's like, these are intriguing words.
Right.
This is an intriguing statement. And then you took the time to have actual pictures with, guys don't do the pictures with your shirt off, or you in a group of guys. You can do fishing photos or outdoorsy photos, but you want to have like your face and looking good.
Yeah.
Get a haircut, get your beard shaved, and put on a suit or something, or your nice stuff, and get some professional pictures taken, because it's a jungle out there. It's a battle. You have 15 seconds, if that, more like 2 or 3, to catch somebody's attention. And then once you catch their attention, how do you get them offline? I think
everybody should have professional headshots done.
Yeah, we should.
And if nothing else, for work, for LinkedIn, for whatever, for business, all this other kind of stuff. Everybody should have, just like I think every man should have a suit. Like one suit at least. I bought my son a suit for his high school graduation present. We spent a bunch of money. But anyhow, I think everybody, and as we're speaking to guys, you should have it doesn't take much to get, everybody knows a friend that has, a nice camera that does professional headshots. Get a couple of professional headshots done and present yourself well, on online dating, just like everything else, man. I think I think from a guy perspective, talking about our profile, we have to understand too that the women we're looking at, man, you don't know when that picture was taken. You don't know what filters were used on all these pictures. You just, there's so many unknowns that can be doctored up on a dating profile that you got to be careful. And they can write all kinds of flowery stuff too. It's like, wow, that's right. Wow, she's magical, and wow, she's looking for this and that. And unfortunately, let's like it or not, a lot of times what women say they want, they really don't want. Like, you want that kind of man, but when that kind of man shows up, their picker is quite honestly not all that great sometimes. And so So you can't really go by a whole lot of that kind of stuff, man. And so profiles, can kind of, profiles can really be a good thing or a bad thing either way.
Yeah, but you got to think about it, especially when the odds are against you like they are in digital dating. You want to clickbait yourself is basically, that's the best way to put it. You need to come up with a good picture, a good headshot that makes you look the best you can look, some tag phrase that will catch people's attention, catch ladies' attention, make them interested to go, ooh, what's that mean? And who are you? Then you might actually have a chance. But I, have seen a lot of the guys out there. We're not doing well, dude. Yeah. We're not doing well when it comes to putting up profiles. We're like, but this is me. I know that's you, but doctor it up a little bit. Like you don't see any actors or actresses or even professional athletes who don't get headshots and have these professionally things that are professionally curated for them to look the best they can. Yeah. We need to think about those things as men as well, because that will get you a little more attention and a little more opportunity to meet somebody actually in person. And I think for everybody out there, that should be the end goal. So get offline and get in person. I don't care about lockdowns and pandemics and all those things. We want to get in person. Like it or not, it's a job interview.
It is. And how do you show up to a job interview? We, just like men, we want a woman that looks good on our arm, right? We want, let's be honest, most of us want just something that at least we consider semi-arm candy or something, somebody. Well, I tell you what, I don't know too many women that don't want a man that looks good on her timeline to all of her friends. And so, I say all that to say that, guys, show her, present yourself well enough, even digitally, to show that, you can clean up when you need to. You might be the fisherman, the hunter, the auto mechanic. You might be all that kind of stuff. And this is me, and this is what I do. I don't like to dress. Well, if you that guy, put on a cowboy hat with a big buckle or something. I don't know, whatever your jam is, dress up and present yourself well, because it, like it or not, it is kind of a job interview. Speaking of job interviews,
I think it's time to pay some bills.
I think it is, man.
Let's take a break.
Mad Men of Masculinity, Mad Men Radio, 12:20 a.m. in the Mile High City and on the digital webs everywhere. We'll be right back. And if your name is Skippy, we have somebody in studio.
No, she's on Skippy number 8.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If there's a Skippy out there, we know somebody who's really into Skippies. You're not gonna dignify that.
No bingo.
Hey, we got somebody in the studio, a radio producer that likes people named Skippy. Mm-hmm. So if your name is Skippy,
she looks like Skittles.
So what we just found out, guys, this is not on air right now. What we just found out, guys, is that they give us nicknames, and they give us nicknames until we become something, where we actually earn the right to have our real names be known. But you're just
another number.
You're just another number.
It's not just you.
It's not just you. It ain't just you.
I've had a lot of my good friends or ladies that I would wingman for, or they wingman for me, and they did the same thing.
Yep.
They did the same thing. So it's kind of easy. It's easy to identify who it is without having to get too deep.
You are a number to the other person. It's the same way you're looking. The person you're looking at is also looking at a bunch of profiles, swiping back and forward and comparing people and all this other kind of mess. Mm-hmm. So we're all being compared in a big old social media dating lineup, police lineup.
Yeah, it's just we're a flip book of faces.
And they say, number 4, please step forward. Turn to the left, turn to the right, no, step back.
Say this phrase.
Exactly. Well, do you digital date? Go to madmenradio.com and sign up for our digital dating service. We'll cut straight to the chase, and we'll take all your money that you want to give us on a monthly basis, and we'll just give you all kinds of stuff to listen to and talk about. But otherwise, it'll be the same result. It'll be the same result. You won't get somebody.
Actually, this would be a better result, because if you go to madmenradio.com and join our fan club and digital dating service, you will learn a lot that will help you in the digital dating world. And if you want, we'll throw up a bunch of curated photos of models and things for you to look at, and you can swipe on and get practice. But
absolutely. So we're back, Mad Men Radio, talking about digital dating on today. a man's
Yeah,
perspective
digital
anyway.
dating for men. And
Dude,
how
there's a
does that
lot of
work?
red flags, man.
Oh, red flags.
There's a lot of red
Red
flags. dude.
flags, flashing lights,
There's a
stop
lot of red
signs,
flags.
sirens. There's lots.
First of all, if
Afraid
they've
of
been on there for a while, there's a lot. That's a huge red flag. I'm talking specifically online dating because you know they're going out, you know they're meeting people, and a huge red flag if they've been on there a while. That means there's a lot of mileage. There's a lot of mileage. She got a lot of frequent flyer points. You know, when you walk into Starbucks, they probably know her name.
Yes.
They probably not even gonna ask you your name for the drink. They probably just gonna write her name right on the cup. They're like, "Oh, Sheila, you back? Oh, really? You got a different one." Yeah. So, yeah, if they've been on there for a while, red flag.
Yeah, especially if they've not only been on one site for a while, but been on multiple sites for a while. That means they're dipping in all the pools, and obviously nobody's keeping the bait. So, big red flag. Also, the you talked about the 2,000 word limit, and on your first profile, if they have a list and it's all about what they don't want, what they won't accept, and if there is no like, this is what I am and this is what I'm good at and this is what I offer, if it's all that list of who you got to be and what they won't accept, don't even bother. That's going to be a nightmare.
Guess what? If you can hear the bitterness in the words, she's still bleeding. Yes. Like if you can hear I don't want to. If it's all negative stuff, if her whole profile is the anti, if she's presenting the anti picture, the man that she don't want or whatever, if you can hear her last relationship in her dating profile, huge red flags because she's bleeding and she's gonna bleed all over you, even if you weren't the one that cut her.
Yeah, and I think when you look at those ladies that do that, they are basically just venting and they're just looking for somebody to take it out on. You don't really want that to be you, do you? Mm-mm. You really don't want to be the next guy.
You don't want that smoke.
You know, she's mad at the last one, and now she's gonna beat you up because of what he did. That's not you. It's not your fault. Mm-mm. Don't go there. No. Don't go there.
No, that's again. Here's a red flag. Oh. Pictures on there that are from glamour shots. Oh Lord. You know the glamour shots that used to be at the mall. Mm-hmm. That if she got pictures where she's holding the collar and and she's got the feathery hair and she's got a little sport coated jacket on with shoulder pads and she got the little pink fuchsia background and she's doing that whole thing, dude. If it's glamour shot, that's a red flag, dude. Because you ain't gonna know what she look like when she show up, dude.
Well, glamour shots like shut down in the 90s.
That's what I'm saying.
So, like if she's still using glamour shots photos, that means you have no idea what she looks like.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like she's already setting you up, man. She's pulling the okie doke for real.
That's a great point. Like when you look at pictures, if they're all from the above angle, if they're all looking down, if there are no full body pics, if there are no pictures of her that's not in a group, I've seen some of them where they have pictures of themselves, but they're like this little dot in the middle of this landscape photo, and I'm by a waterfall. Look, I'm in the mountains. Look, I'm by the beach. I have no idea what you look like, and there's probably a reason that she's doing that because ladies, for the most part, are very aware of how they look and are very artistic. Let's be nice. We'll say they're very artistic with their photos. Sure. And so they will make themselves look a certain way, and then if there aren't other pictures to show you how they might actually really look that aren't so curated. No. You might be in for a surprise if you get her in person.
What was a red flag for me was every picture was a selfie.
You ain't got no friends that can take you pictures.
What was for me anyway? You can do what you want to do, but I mean, you're a grown man. You're a grown man. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm saying for me, if every picture was a selfie in the mirror or in the car, to me that was a red flag because to me that spoke no social circle. And not out anywhere, not kind of doing anything. And you literally just stay at home, changing clothes and taking pictures in the mirror, like for real, like that's what life is about. And by the way, if they are taking selfies in the mirror at home, and you can see what the room looks like. Dude, pay attention to what's in the background. That's all I'm saying.
Look at the background. There's some girls telling on themselves.
I got some stories, but I cannot say that on the radio.
About to say that for tomorrow.
Just look at the background. Look at the background. That's going to tell you some stuff you want to hear, but that could be some definite red flags in that bad boy.
If you talk about red flag, if you want to have a good time and you're just bored, go on YouTube and look up selfie picture fails. That'll give you some ideas because some of those some ladies say, forget flush the toilet.
Oh man,
you can't. I'm
Dude,
not
it
gonna go
was
there. I'm just saying.
bathroom pictures where the counter had all kinds of. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
man. So to me, like I said, it was just
in poor taste.
for me. Like I want to know. I'm an extrovert. She doesn't have to be an extrovert. Matter of fact, I'm polar. I'm a polar match for somebody that's an introvert, right? So I'm not expecting her to be an extrovert, but at the same time, I do live somewhat of a social life, meaning, we will probably be at this event or that event or this fundraiser or that kind of thing. And if you just there's a difference between being an introvert and being like a hermit or a recluse. And so I just like to see what kind of folks you roll with. And sometimes I know some of the people in the background in the pictures, and that kind of speaks a lot as well. So like on Facebook dating, it'll tell you the mutual friends that you have in common. And that to me, it was like,
that's helpful.
Okay, now I know what kind of circles you roll in. If I see certain names, okay, I know where I could probably bump into you or how you represent. So yeah, red flags would be some of those pictures that women will post.
Yeah, absolutely. And then okay, ladies, I know most of you in your mid 30s and 40s, you're most likely single mothers. You're looking to date. Get your kids out of your photos. I don't care how cute your kid looks in their little outfit. Get your kids out of your photos. Just say, I have children.
Okay.
Leave kids in the photos.
I feel, man, you just awakened the spirit within me, dude.
Oh, Lord. Here comes.
Here she comes. Oh, here she comes. Ladies, the other reason you don't want to have your kid's picture in your profile is because you don't want a man to date you with the intention of getting access to your kids. I'm not. This is in the book, right? I mean, so this is not groundbreaking stuff that just came to mind, but this is key and important, and that goes for just social media in general. Like you don't want to. I mean, I've seen some cringy posts of kids in bikinis, like little kids, like in bikinis at the beach and at the pool, and look at us having our pool day, and look how cute my daughter is, and I'm like, you don't want to do that because there are twisted men out there who will date or pursue a woman with the actual intention of getting access to her kids.
We don't want to acknowledge that. We don't want to make that a real thing. But, we got to be real.
We're just being real, just being honest.
Yeah, we don't want to be negative, but some of these things
happen.
So you got to be aware of that. So guys, if she is posting a lot of pictures with her kids in them, she may not be very attached to reality. There may be just like, well, what's wrong with me and my kids? And this is a dating profile for you. All it needs to say is, I have kids. That's all. We don't need to see your kids. Take them out of your dating profile.
These are truths. So to pivot a little bit, I would say kind of personal red flags would be you can't stop looking at dating profiles all day, every day. Like that can become an addiction where you literally are hooked on swiping and looking and just searching and a new face, a new name, and for lack of a better word, fantasizing about this person, dating this person, or this person, whatever. It can become an obsession, if not an addiction. And so a personal red flag to you, whether you're man or woman, is I can't stop this. I can't take a break. I can't put this down all day long at work. I'm pulling up my phone. I'm opening the app. I'm looking. I'm swiping. I'm all this other kind of stuff. That's a huge personal red flag that I've experienced. I had to check myself on.
Well, there's a reason that TikTok videos are so short. They figured out that how many seconds you need for the dopamine hit. And digital dating is almost the exact same thing. You just swipe. Ooh, like swipe. Ooh, like it's just a digital dopamine hit.
It is.
And that's one of the other reasons I'm always very kind of anti-digital dating, because you would much rather have that dopamine hit in person. You want to have a real energetic connection. You want to have the chemistry instead of a digital fake dopamine hit every time you swipe, just because you get stuck on there and you're going, I'm looking, I'm going to find you. What ends up happening is you just go around in circles. You've seen the same faces 3 times and you're not getting anywhere. Plus, you're also not doing anything. You're stuck on the couch or in the car on your phone, not actually doing anything.
And ultimately, a cell phone is a 2-dimensional representation, an avatar of a person. We are 3/4-dimensional human beings, creatures. When we reduce our whole existence and another person's whole existence to a 2-dimensional representation on the screen, we're missing the important ingredient, which is depth. And if you only experience this dating experience in the 2 dimension, You're missing the depth of the experience of the journey of actually meeting somebody, getting to know them, and seeing them as a person, someone who can relate and connect, or who has some value, who has thoughts and feelings and opinions, and who is real. You know how they look for real. I mean, in my first book cover, I didn't even realize this after the book is out. In my first book cover, the guy that did my headshot for the cover, he actually like photoshopped out the scar in the middle of my forehead. I didn't realize after the book was out. I was like, wait a minute. And so these kind of things you can't see and experience until you get in front of the person and actually see them as the person that they really are, when they're not just putting on a resume, a LinkedIn profile kind of thing. You can actually see the person in action.
Yeah, and one of the other things about digital dating and online dating is that because it's not in person, people will be more nasty, more judgmental, just be less human, for lack of a better term, because there's a digital device in front of them and it's not real. That's why I think digital dating a lot of times now, what seems to be the trend is it's kind of going the way of the dodo, at least for most folks. And now the single, mixers groups are becoming more popular because, especially after we had that lockdown and all the time by ourselves, we realized we need human connection. Even if it's not going to be a romantic connection, just getting out and being around people and getting some energy. And if you're just stuck behind the phone, got to put the thing down, go outside, find a social group, find a group of people doing something you enjoy doing, just to start practicing being social again. I see a lot of people who get really good at the digital thing, but can't hack it when it comes to actually face-to-face conversations or, interaction, or even doing anything fun in person. They were like, well, but I was good online. Well, that's fake reality.
It's not a real person. It's not a real person. It's a profile. It's a resume, and that resume is no more of an employee than the potential of the person that wants the job. So you can't just go by the resume if there's an actual person behind that.
It's basically clickbait.
It pretty much is. It pretty much is a way to get people to look, and we don't want to get people to look. We want you to listen, and one of the ways we want you to listen is by listening to what we got to say coming up here in this next break here. What do you think, Dan?
I think it's time for that break. I heard that alarm go off.
You heard that, man. All right, we'll be right back. Mad Men Radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every guy says the same thing too. You're right.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they can. Yeah. Well, it's bad too, because men have been taught over the years that they need to have like a puppy or a baby or something. They got to borrow something to get the girl to go, ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if he has one picture, then he may just be dumb and not realize that's a bad idea. No. Oh yeah.
There have been legal cases here in Denver, as a matter of fact, where men have been dating women to traffic their daughters. I mean, literally. I mean, there have been convictions here in Colorado of men who serially, if that's a word, serially dated women.
Well, they use it with killers, so I think
serially dated women in order to get access to their kids, in order to traffic the kids of the single mom. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
yeah. Not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for you all in the behind the scenes watching on YouTube right now, Nikki Nicole, super producer, chimed in and she made a good point that you guys need to stop using kids and puppies and things as clickbait for these dating profiles. You don't be putting your kids in your photos either, because this is a dating profile for you, not for the kids. And like Kirk was saying, there's been cases where people are dating for the children for whatever nefarious reason. So stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even introduce kids to any new person for a long time.
Yeah, the girl I've been dating, she made the point that we're not introducing each other to kids or anything. And I'm like, that's
especially if the kids are younger. If the kids are, 15 or below or whatever.
Her kids are older, but it's still like, why?
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. But in terms of having a guy over for dinner and doing weekenders and trips and all this, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
Keep it separate until the point you want to be with this person and you want to combine those things. Keep it separate. Boom. And it's your fun, it's your time. Yeah. Keep it separate.
We're ready for 4.
We're ready for segment number 4, fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter, fourth segment. We are back.
4th down and long. Mad Men of Masculinity on KLBC.
Jason B. Kendrick.
Kirk M. Samuels.
My man. Mad Men of Radio. Mad Men of Masculinity, baby. Hey, madmenradio.com. Check us out. Holler at us. Let us know what you think. Partner up with us. All those kind of good things, man. Pretty easy to catch up with.
Yeah, get on Mad Men of Masculinity on YouTube. It's our private channel. Like and subscribe. Tell all your friends. Go back and watch all the old episodes because you love us.
You know you do.
You know you love us.
You do. You gonna love me. Mad Men of Masculinity. We love this. Talking about digital dating, man. Bringing us down. Bringing us down the home stretch, man.
So for the live on air audience, they're hearing this. Nikki Nicole during the break did bring up a good point. So not just ladies, men. Don't put your kids in your dating profiles. The dating profile is about you. Yeah. I know you heard from somebody who's a pickup artist that you need a puppy or a small child to get girls going, ooh, stop it. It's not a good look. Just don't do that.
Yeah, that's definitely not a thing that's grown-upville. And, kids should be in grown-upville.
It's adult town.
Until it's the appropriate time for them to be that way. And so, this whole thing, man, it's a journey. And I like to say it's about the journey. It's not about the destination. There's so much to learn. First, I always think we need to start off working on ourselves before we even go to pursue other people. I think we need to be the wholest, bestest version of ourselves so that we are, I believe in not relational dependence, not relational independence. I believe in relational interdependence. I'm whole, you're whole. But when you take that Venn diagram, where we overlap is our greatness. And what if we pursue relationships as opportunities to serve someone else? Instead of how somebody can meet my needs, let me find a great person that I can pour into as they pour into me. And it can be we is greater than me. Yeah. Where we are better, we are multiplied. Like we are whole and complete, but we're wholer. When we're together, you multiply 2 fractions, you get a fraction, right? And so I think when we are able to be as whole as possible, and make ourselves ready, good people to date and be in a relationship with, that's a great place to start.
Mr. Samuels, our new math teacher, we're going to learn a lot from him.
Hey, man, I went to public school, man, but I did graduate. You know what I'm saying?
But it is a great point. And I think, when we put it in the book, the first step is go look in the mirror, go inwards. And especially when we talk about 2 guys about digital dating, even going back to Kirk's point about his original profile having all this stuff and then him going down to 3 words. When you get into yourself, when you find yourself needing that or chasing that, that's when you need to step back. Mm-hmm. When you find yourself addicted to the phone and the apps, that's when you need to step back. Look in the mirror, find out what's good about you, go find a purpose and a project or something that can occupy your time. And when you do that, a lot of times you will attract that person because now you are more attractive. Because when you come across as too nice and too wordy and too much, keep it simple, keep it attractive, but don't make digital dating or online dating or any of those things your only way of meeting people. And definitely don't make it your only way of clickbait or make yourself look attractive. Go out and do things and start making yourself the best guy you can be. And you will definitely become more attractive in person and online.
Yeah, real is always better than fake. Real is always better than artificial. There's protein and there's carbs, right? And protein will stick to your bones. It'll last. It'll keep you warm in the wintertime. And so to be real and to have your life exist more in the reality than in the virtual is key and important. And for guys, I said this here over the weekend yesterday, man, guys need to be in circles with other guys in non-sexual intimacy with other guys in terms of connection and relationship. And then we get our masculinity built up. It takes a man to make a man. And so we get our masculinity built up around other men and then we have something to offer a woman. And so I do believe in those circles. I do believe in not being virtual. And quite honestly, back when I was addicted to pornography, my world was virtual. I was doing online dating sexually, where it was all fake, and I got addicted to it, and I couldn't stop, and it controlled and ruined my life. And so that, for me anyway, that was a parallel of me just existing in the virtual. And it wasn't until I found the value of true friendships that I began to see that, man, this is great, man. This is freaking awesome. I mean, to be able to have good friends, to be able to have boys that you can do life with and meet with and get together. You know, we get together with B Men. Several of the guys at the event yesterday went right online and they liked and joined B Men on Facebook, and they were talking about getting together with other guys because none of them like got together regularly with other guys. And so just the opportunity to sit down and just talk about stuff and just have friends and guys and boys that you can hang out with. And then we're not looking for validation from women, because a femininity can never validate masculinity. And so when we are able to live in the real, man, and live in the actual, not the potential or the virtual, we're always going to be better off.
Yeah, and if you're stuck online, if you're just using it, like Kirk was saying, if you're addicted to the virtual world, especially when it comes to dating, find you a group of guys. Mm-hmm. Get out in the world, because what tends to happen is you become less manly, less masculine. Your testosterone starts to drop because, number one, you're not being active. Number two, you're not around other men. So you're losing those things that make you an attractive masculine man. And digital dating should be maybe a starting point or entertainment if you're in that phase of life where you're not looking for anything serious. That's fine. But get around other guys so that you become more of a man, become more attractive, become more polarized to the feminine, so that you will have those traits that she's looking for. If you're just on the computer, you're just on your phone, you are not gaining in masculinity. You're not gaining in strength as a person. Now, if you need to go online for therapy, or need to do something to get inward and find out who you are, what you're working on, what your traumas may be, that may be a place to start. But I would say get with a group of guys and work that out with the guys. Guys will help you heal faster than any therapy or anything else, because, number one, you'll find out you're not alone. Every man is dealing with 90% of the same things. We all have similar backgrounds. We're all in the same world. So we're struggling in the same ways. And those men will help you to acknowledge and reflect. So you have to take some responsibility that, I made mistakes, I didn't make bad choices, but you know what, I'm not the only one. And then you can turn that around and start to heal. And when you become a healed masculine man, when you become a healed man, you have higher value to the sexual marketplace, and you become that person that you are pretending to be on your online dating profile.
And I'm telling you, man, when I got into that space, I can only speak for myself in terms of true experience. When I got into that space, that's when I deleted all those words off of my profile, that I'm not trying to prove how great of a man I am. I'm willing to just put 3 words on there and let you deal with it. And that came from my growth in terms of my identity. I didn't need to be Mr. Nice Guy. Huge shout out to the guy at the bus stop with his golf clubs. I mean, homeboy, he might have lost the car in a divorce, but he got out there. He still got out there, man. He got out there. And, when you're on a golf course, man, you're in nature. You're in the feminine. You are literally playing in the feminine. And so, shout out to my man. I know you listen, man, because you just that kind of guy. You one of our kind of guys. But that kind of stuff, man, get out, man. I don't know if he was playing, or he was probably playing around with other guys in terms of round of golf. And so, whether they were traveling with him or friends, I don't know. But either way, being able to exist in the real and not the fake, you're always going to be better off, man. And so, again, back to my original point of, I think it might be great to have 1 lane of your highway, but ultimately 3 or 4 other lanes of your highway should be, in-person stuff, real stuff, work stuff. Getting into just groups of people, you never know who might know somebody that might be a great match for you. Getting together with other guys, man, just all kinds of, just huge stuff like that to just get in person is huge. Yeah.
Get out in the world. Shout out to Kara, who runs Into Loop Singles, who talks about get in your lane and stay in your lane, know your lane. When you talk about lane, so gentlemen, understand your sexual marketplace value, understand what lane you're in, and operate within that lane. You can switch 1 lane over, 1 lane up, or whatever, but don't go shooting for the stars and making yourself feel bad because you overshot the moon. It's okay to be 5, 6, and 7s.
Yeah.
It's okay to be a 4. Go find other 4s and make an 8. I don't care.
You know why that's also important? Because when we as guys, when we date a woman that we're impressed by, when we date a woman that we are in awe, like, oh man, put her up on a pedestal. We put her on a pedestal that she didn't earn, right? And a woman in that position can never respect a man in that position. A man that'll give her a pedestal she never earned. And so when we're trying to date women that are basically what we consider out of our league or dating up, if you want to call it that, that's kind of the general term. In other words, women that we are just in awe of, just like, wow, she's the hottest chick in the room and all the guys want her and all this stuff. When that's our main focus, then we are doomed for somebody that doesn't respect us, because a woman can't respect a man who idolizes her just for no reason at all, especially because of her looks, because of her aesthetics.
Yeah, I mean, loving a woman for her inner self and in a way, idolizing her as who she is, as herself, that's one thing, but that comes from long-term love and commitment. Initially putting her up on this pedestal and kissing her feet and doing all that, is never going to end well for you, especially if you want to have a long-lasting, equally mutually respectful relationship.
And I'm telling you, so in terms of the online, our 1 minute each wrap up here, I guess you could say, where we close out. I think online dating, digital dating, I think there's pluses and minuses. Like I said, I can't hate on it completely because I've had success through that vehicle. I've also had a whole lot of frustration and ultimately, for what you want to call failure, in that avenue as well. But at the same time, I think it's great for getting reps. But I think, like a lot of things, there's not necessarily negativity inherent in it, but it can become negative if we get out of balance. If we look to it for the wrong things, then most things will become kind of a negative deal.
Yeah, I think for me, is the juice really worth the squeeze? And if you look at the statistics, maybe not. If it's just for fun, if it's just to get your feet wet, a little wet, and get out there, fine. But if you really want to get to something serious and really actually make connections, you need to get in person. So maybe use it as a key to open the door and get out there. But I would say, if you've been on digital dating for a while, if you've deleted it and reloaded it, deleted it and reloaded it 5 or 10 times, and it's not working for you, how's that working for you? How about we just look in the mirror and go, it's not working. Let's get out in public. Let's maybe join a singles group, or better yet, join a men's group. Get around other guys. Start to become a better man, and then you will attract naturally, instead of having to go searching and hunting on the digital broadband airwaves, trying to find somebody who may or may not be real. She might be a bot.
Or what if you started doing stuff you love and met somebody there? If volunteering is your thing, and you like having that for humanity, or you like, going to take care of dogs in the Dumb Friend League or whatever, wouldn't that be a great place to meet somebody? If church is your thing, now there's a lot of drawbacks, all that kind of stuff. I get it. I've been there, done that. But get places and do things that you love and meet somebody there, and maybe that could be the key. And then, like I said, getting around other people. I mean, we can't say it enough, man. Groups. Get in person. There's a lot of singles groups out there, and make it happen. And let us know what you think.
Yep. Let us know what you think. Mad Men Masculinity are here for you. We love you.
Mad Men out.
Peace.